In this video, I will show you how I turned this cube into this vibrant scene. I started by gathering some references for the desert, materials, car, and plants. This vintage car fits perfectly in the scene, but to model it accurately, I had to find a blueprint, which fortunately didn't take me a long time. Then I placed it in Blender, added a new cube, and scaled it to fit all dimensions of the car. Then I started adding loop cuts to have more geometry to work with and align the vertices. That's it, just adding vertices and moving them, until we have something that resembles a car. Next, let's add a cylinder, scale it a bit, extrude it a couple times, add a bevel, also make the inside part, and we have nice wheels. Also I spent time on other parts of the car, such as lights, windows, bumper, etc. There's a lot of parts of the car that I didn't model, but they won't be visible anyway, and I'm just too lazy to model them. But wait, the model is done, which means that I need to unwrap it? Well, UV unwrapping is actually pretty easy. I just marked the seams on all sharp edges and spent a little time packing it with the help of two free add-ons: Text Tools for straightening islands and UV Packer for packing UVs with more accuracy. If you want, I can make a full tutorial about UV unwrapping. So it's time to texture the model. I exported it to Substance Painter, baked the mesh maps, and applied base colors. Now it's time to add some layer. That's actually pretty easy. Just add a new layer, name it Rust, then change the color and drag the mask onto a layer. Cool. Then let's also change a couple settings, and we have a pretty believable texture. Then I manually painted somewhere. Using the same technique, I added other layers on top, like scratches, dirt, sand, and of course rust. With these textures, it looks like it had been abandoned in the desert for a very long time. Now let's set up the scene. I added a plane, scaled it a bit, subdivided it, and used the proportional editing with random fall off to make a sand texture. Then with the drag brush, I formed the landscape. After that, I added two textures and mixed them together using noise texture to create a nice sand material. Now let's focus on the background. For the sky, I used an HDRI from Polyhaven. Then with this add-on, I added hills and placed them 1,000 miles away. To separate them a little bit from the focal point, I added a low density fog. I also wanted to add some details to the scene, so I made rocks and twigs and scattered them using particle system. And made the dead bushes and tumbleweed, using the add-on that comes with Blender. Then I scattered them just like the rocks. Finally, after setting up the scene, I added some effects and adjustments to the image in compositing to give it a more polished look. The render looks cool and all of that, but I think adding a nice animation would be even better than still image. After rendering 300 frames, I have this. Overall, it was fun creating this desert scene, and I'm happy with the result. My channel is pretty new, so feedback will be much appreciated. Thank you.